I love autumn. And sometimes here in Houston, we have to wait a long time. Summer seems to linger. It's in the summer that the trees and the plants function as little solar energy plants, creating energy to help the trees and the plants, the flowers and the grass grow and flourish. Chlorophyll, the chemical in the leaves, is able to capture the light of the sun as energy, to take in CO2 that we breathe out, and to get water from the ground to create sugars that sustain and nourish the plant. Throughout the summer, this chlorophyll creates the green color that is so restful and so nourishing for our souls. But in the fall, something cool happens. Not as much here in Texas as in other parts of the country, but in the fall, the days get shorter and chlorophyll production starts to slow down. The evenings cool off, and if all goes well, the little veins in the leaves begin to shut down, and the chlorophyll begins to go away. It begins to lose its productivity, and the carotenoids, the colorful chemicals that are in the leaves, the yellows and the oranges, begin to show up. Not only that, as those veins close down and the sugars get trapped in the leaves, that's when the beautiful anthocyanins show up that give color to blueberries and strawberries, the reds, the purples, and the oranges that we love so much. It's in those colors that we see the beauty that has been there all along, but we see it in a fresh way. Seasons help us to open our eyes again to the wonder of creation. And as the tree begins to close down those veins and shut off the connection between the leaf and the branch, it's preparing itself for the harsh and long times of winter when the leaves would be frozen and damage the tree. But as they're released, the stems, the bark, the trunk of the tree are able to maintain their integrity, to store up all that energy, to survive the sometimes harsh and cruel winter. Nature gives us a picture of what God wants for us. He wants us to be sustained by the sunshine and the water, by truth and by grace, by connection with the soil of His love. God wants us to flourish and to grow, but He also wants us to be willing to shut things down, to be able to stop doing and just be, to let our true colors shine most when we're at rest rather than when we're at work. He wants us to let Him be God by resting and being willing to wait on Him. Fall is a preparation for winter, and winter is a time of waiting. It's a time of anticipation. It's a time of stillness. It's a time when we wait for the new life that is coming. Each year, as we approach the Advent season, as we approach Christmas, we shut some things down in order to open ourselves up to what's coming to bear, to what God intends to bless us with, the new life, the freshness, the joy, the beauty, the brilliance of spring. It's tough letting go. It's tough shutting down. It's tough when we can't produce, when we can't do, and we have to just be. But it's in those moments of waiting that we honor God's purpose and His plan. We brace ourselves for the cold and shore ourselves up for the spring to come. This is God's design. It's His plan, and it's a plan that every year allows us to trust God to be God, to show up as Emmanuel, God with us. He's with us in every season, but it particularly shows up in those moments when it's dark and cold, when we need Him the most.